Welcome back into the Sports Source. The Toco Lodge brings you this segment. Right now they're getting everything ready for spring. But you can book your stay online or drop by their main lobby. The fire's always going, coffee's always hot, beautiful view of the river there at the wintertime. You can get up to Toco Lodge, the main drag, and line up your stay for the spring. And for you romantics out there, they will be opening up for several weekends in February. Visit Topoco.com now to learn more about when you can book then. Topoco.com, Toco Lodge. Okay, Tennessee has landed the right coordinator for the job in my view, and I think everybody's view. There is a question as to what position he will be handling as coach at Tennessee. Jeremy Pruitt hasn't said they've decided he's a quarterback coach yet. Let me show you some information here that might, well, it kind of sticks out to me. This is what Jim Cheney has had as his starting quarterback over his career. And you can go back through there. There's some guys who were true freshmen. The number might not have. Curtis Painter was a true freshman at Purdue, as a matter of fact. Jonathan Crompton, we all know what Crompton was before Cheney and Kiffin. Matt Sims, we know what his limitations were, but he was pretty good here. Decent, better than what we've seen in some years since then. Brandon Allen wasn't a good player. Nathan Peterman, he got him turned around at Pittsburgh. His quarterbacks, starting quarterback, Jake Fromm, to a national championship game as a freshman, 58.2% completion percentage, 47,000 yards passing, a 2-to-1, more than 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio for his quarterbacks over the life of his career. There's talk about Winky possibly leaving. Jeremy Pruitt has spoken to T. Martin about something. So there's the possibility somebody else moves in here, somebody takes over quarterback, Cheney coaches something else. He's coached offensive line, he's coached tight ends, he's coached just about everything. But to me, you got Jarrett Garantano is going to be under his fourth different coordinator. To me, you're wasting an opportunity if you don't make Jim Cheney your quarterback coach and get him one-on-one with Jarrett Garantano. Not all these guys did that. So my question is it good enough just to have Garantano in Cheney's system, or do you think Cheney should be the quarterback coach as well?
I think he should be the quarterback coach. I do remember this, that when Cheney was at Tennessee under Lane Kiffin, he was called the running backs coach, but he spent, and we used to watch a little bit more practice then, but 90% of his time was spent with quarterbacks. They handed off the running backs to GA. I'm going to make him the quarterback coach. I think he needs to spend every hour, every minute that he can with Jarrett Garantano to help improve him. And I think he will improve him, but I would make him the quarterback's coach.
I agree. I don't know why you wouldn't, but it's maybe are they waiting to see who leaves after signing day, what coaches might leave? I don't know. I don't know why he wouldn't be, though. I'm with Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would make that the focus, and part of it does come back to the money as well. You're spending $1.5 million to me on an offensive coordinator to come in with his track record as well, coaching quarterbacks. And this is such an important year coming up, I think, for Jarrett Garantano. And we also know how conversation can change. Right now, just about everybody's excited. If Garantano has a bad game and Cheney's not the quarterback's coach, that's going to be brought up. I just think it benefits everybody to have Cheney coach the quarterbacks.
The two names that stood out on that list to me were Jonathan Crompton and Nathan Peterman. And you look at what they were without Cheney and then what they were with Cheney. Pretty big difference.
And the same thing with Brandon Allen, too. Allen was not good. Cheney gets there, kind of turns him around. Then Cheney leaves to go to Pittsburgh, and Brandon Allen continues down a path. And that's another thing. I didn't include on there the years of quarterbacks who excelled after Cheney had his hands on them. You know, he had coached them, then he moved on to another place, and they went on to have success. I don't feel comfortable saying, well, that's because of him, because some other quarterback coach came in there at the same time. But he did have a hand. If you look at all the quarterbacks he's worked with in their career marks, the numbers get really staggering.
How has Drew Brees done after Cheney?
He's done pretty well, by golly. Go Saints. One other thing, too, John, about that, and I know this will be the fourth offensive coordinator for Jarrett Garantano since he's been at Tennessee. That doesn't bother me with Cheney coming in, because I've seen a lot of offensive coordinators turn a quarterback around right away. You can go to David Cutcliffe with Eric Ainge. You can look at what Kiffin and Cheney did with Jonathan Crompton. You can look at what Cheney did with Peterman at Pitt. There are a lot of great examples. Lane Kiffin with Blake Sims at Alabama the first year. I think you can turn it around right away.
If you get the right guy.
Yes.
I feel better about Cheney being the fourth guy than I would some random guy I know nothing about. I mean,
Agreed.
Mike Yursich got more with less at Oklahoma State, had done a good job. I don't know that he's the kind of guy that could step in and turn a quarterback the way that a Jim Cheney can. So we'll see. I think if there's anybody over there that should be happy on that team, it's Jarrett Garantano. Because here's the thing. Right now, nobody looks at him as a pro prospect. By the time Cheney's done with him, if Garantano does what Cheney tells him, he could be looking at an NFL career, I think. All right. When we come back, well, we're going to be talking about SEC hoops a little bit later. We got one more segment of that. But next, what's wrong at Georgia? Are there cracks in the foundation down there? People leaving, coaches leaving? Kirby can't win the big one? That seems to be what I'm reading. How much trouble is Georgia in, if at any? Come on. I can't. Coming back.